Welcome to this webinar. Today we have a very special topic on the agenda, and it's how to get from strategy into execution. My name is David de Graaf. I'm a partner at the Novius Consulting Group. I will introduce you to my colleagues.
My name is Jeroen Stoop. I'm Principal Consultant at Novius and I am responsible for the Competence Center Business Transformation Planning.
And my name is Sjoerd Staphorst. I'm also a Principal Consultant at Novius. I have over 15 years of experience using the Business Transformation Framework.
We divided this webinar into 8 pieces. The first one is, why do organizations need the Business Transformation Framework to drive change? The second one is, how are organizations dealing with strategy and change? The third one, what is the Business Transformation Framework and how do we use it to drive change? What are examples and how is BTF used to drive and implement change? The next wave, Agile Business Transformation Framework. How does it work? And the last one is, how do we implement continuous structured and planned change using the Business Transformation Framework tooling? And then we will give you a summary with a wrap-up. Okay, why do organizations need Business Transformation Framework to drive change? Well, change is happening all the time and at an increasing speed. We can see it around us. Look to internet and social media. They are changing the way we live and do our businesses. Reputations of organizations are made or broken by customers using social media. We have to deal with further digitalization and the availability of enormous amounts of data. It's creating new business opportunities and at the same time it's posing new threats. Think of the announcement, for example, of ING Bank in the Netherlands about their plans to use customer data to improve their services. Well, this caused agitation in the Netherlands, as you can imagine. Globalization, allowing organizations to do business globally. It's very easy nowadays, for example, to order mobile phone covers from China. And the customer expectations are rising. They expect to do business at any time, any place, any way they choose. Customers expect a seamless customer journey, personalized to their individual preferences. B2C and B2B business models are beginning to blend into each other. And finally, we have technical developments. They're using disruptive business models and creates opportunities for startups and threats to give threats to the long existing organizations. Think of Internet of Things, big data, robotics, 3D printing. Okay, these disruptive changes have impact on the business models of organizations. They impact the way organizations do their business, the way they communicate with their customers, their product and service offerings, their internal processes and their applications and IT infrastructure. These kind of high impact changes force organizations to make tough strategic decisions and at a faster pace and more frequently in a world where things are getting more and more complex. So organizations need the capability to adopt change, make decisions and set their strategic goals towards them. But not less important, organizations need the capability of designing and implementing change based on their strategic directions in order to get from strategy into execution. We call this business transformation planning. Business transformation planning is an important and essential process for effective design and management of business transformations in a fast-changing world. It is part of the business transformation framework. How are organizations dealing with their strategy and change? More than 40% of business transformations aimed at the implementation of the business strategy are failing. When the business transformation includes major cultural change, the fail rate increases to a daunting 80%. The importance of having a sense of urgency or aspiration, involvement and commitment of management and employees and strong leadership to drive business transformation is often mentioned as the critical success factors. Okay. Before we go from strategy to execution, we have to answer 3 very important questions. The first is it clear what we want to achieve? Are the strategic goals well defined? The second question is, what do we have to do to achieve that goals in matters of people, structure, organization, etc. And the third question is about, can we really do it? Do we have the capabilities to achieve that change? The problem usually isn't the process of defining the strategy. Most of the organizations we encounter have come up with a vision and mission statement and a strategy, or at least know how to craft one. And although we do often find opportunities to make significant improvements in the execution capabilities of our clients, this usually isn't the biggest bottleneck either. In our experience, a lot of organizations find it very difficult to translate their strategy into a successful plan of action. In other words, to get from what do we want to achieve to what are we going to do to make that happen and when. Over the last 25 years we have developed and improved a methodology we call the Business Transformation Framework. It is our approach to help organizations to get from strategy to a plan of action in order to realize strategic goals. BTF is applicable in all kinds of organizations. It can be taught and learned. And once learned and embedded, it becomes a true organizational capability and competitive edge. Over the last 25 years, BTF has proven to be a very effective and efficient tool in many transformations, over and over again. We will give you examples about that later.
Let's now have a look at the Business Transformation Framework and how it actually works. But before we go into great depth into the framework, let's have a look at some common practices we find today. The first approach we often see is the delegate and hope for the best approach. The second we call the shopping list approach. And the third is the let's have a brainstorm approach. Let's briefly look at each of the three approaches. When using the delegate and hope for the best approach, strategy execution is delegated immediately to the next organizational level using management objectives and goal setting. There is no single portfolio, no overall prioritization, and alignment is not managed at all. The executive board then hopes for the best. In other words, hopefully all initiatives will eventually lead to realization of our strategy. And hope is not really a reliable strategy. The shopping list approach is a little bit better. In this approach, each member of the executive board adds his or her project proposals to a single list. There is just a single portfolio. Prioritization, however, is dominated by giving each member at least a share of the portfolio. Further alignment is usually not managed. The let's brainstorm approach is maybe the best of the three. A multidisciplinary team is gathered to do a brainstorm exercise, answering the question, what do we need to do to make our strategy work? And they come up with a list of proposed initiatives. There is one portfolio and it is often prioritized using strategic drivers. Alignment is sometimes managed, but misalignment is often discovered late in the process and is therefore hard and expensive to correct. Although the brainstorm approach is clearly the better of the two, it is still not good enough in our opinion. When looking at translating strategy into a plan of action, 4 questions need to be answered positively for any approach to be good enough. The first question is, are we complete? Are we confident that, to the best of our abilities, we have captured all initiatives that are necessary to make our strategy work? The second question is, are our initiatives aligned? Have we managed that all initiatives, once completed, add up to what we strategically set out to do? Third question, have we prioritized strategically? We have never seen a client where the capacity for change was greater than the demand. Therefore, prioritization and matching is key. To maximize strategic impact, priority should be based on the overall strategy and viewed from an organizational-wide perspective. And matching requires a realistic estimate of change capacity. Can we respond quickly and then trust the choices we make? This is question 4. Things happen, some of which require organizations to act. No change portfolio is fixed for years. But when things happen, can we then quickly assess the impact on strategy and our change portfolio and make well-informed decisions about what to do? When using one of the 3 approaches discussed, it is still not possible to answer all the 4 questions with a clear yes. Therefore, all these approaches fail the test. We need something better. The Business Transformation Framework is an approach that offers just that. Business transformation is just an approach to get from strategy to a concrete plan of action, while ensuring completeness, alignment, strategic prioritization, and responsiveness. Now let's have a look at how the framework actually works. The framework, the Business Transformation Framework, uses a model which assures alignment in 2 ways, being strategic alignment and business and IT alignment. First, strategic alignment is assured using the business transformation framework from top to bottom. We are referring to the rows in the business transformation framework. It starts with drafting the strategy and the objectives. A clear strategy is vital to defining the changes. Good strategies must be specific enough and provide adequate direction in order to provide the foundation for the business transformation. In most cases, the business strategy already exists, but needs further clarification or elaboration. In doing so, we use all kinds of existing strategic management models. For instance, like the strategy map of Kaplan-Norton, the business model canvas designed by Osterwalder, and all kinds of analysis of external and internal environments. After the business strategy is clarified, we develop a set of guiding principles to further operationalize the strategic goals. These guiding principles can be used to manage the actual business transformation. For example, an organization might set a guiding principle to indicate that their customers are serviced using online channel and that the other communication channels are only available at request and at premium cost. A lot of organizations use these guiding principles when they bill their customer using digital invoices only. The guiding principles provide direction when designing the target situation. Furthermore, an understanding of the current situation and its bottlenecks provide additional input for designing the target situation. We use principles and techniques from enterprise architecture when designing the target situation. Based on an understanding of the current and target situation, we then formulate the action items needed to realize the required business transformation. An action item is not only aimed at realizing long-term results, but also at solving important bottlenecks or issues in the current situation. Finally, we use the action items to draft the business transformation portfolio. This business transformation portfolio can be seen as a roadmap in which all action items are grouped into projects or programs and planned according to their priorities and interdependencies. In the business transformation portfolio, we also need to take into account the organization's capacity for change. The capacity for change limits the number of projects that can be run simultaneously. We will explain how the business transformation portfolio fits in a more agile environment with teams and epics later on in this webinar. Let's take an example to show how the framework works from top to bottom. Let's say a large retailer chooses to pursue a discount strategy. The business model relies heavily on a high stock turnover. One of the objectives is to improve stock turnover even further by reducing its product variety. A guiding principle that would make this more executable is: we have a maximum of 2,000 different products and only 2 options for each product, a premium product and a low-budget product. The current product portfolio probably doesn't comply with this principle, thus creating a gap between the current state and the target state of the product portfolio. In the business transformation framework, we capture these differences between current and target state as action items. To reduce product variety, more action points are defined. For example, we measure product variety every month. And these action items can then be grouped to create a project called Restructuring Product Portfolio Management. Now let's talk about the other type of alignment. The business IT alignment is assured using the business transformation framework from left to right. We are referring to the columns in the business transformation framework. Each column represents an aspect of operational management. We distinguish between 4 aspects, being clients and services, processes and organization, information and applications, and IT infrastructure and facilities. Let's first briefly look at each aspect and then at how they are interrelated using an example. Clients and services, the left column in the framework, is about which clients the organizations want to serve, what products and services the organizations offers to them, how it distributes these, under what conditions and to what quality or service levels. When we have decided which products and services to provide to which customers and in what way, we need to focus on how the organization does it. It takes work and thus processes must be carried out. People and other resources need to be organized and everything must be managed. This is the subject matter of the processes and organization aspect, the second column in our framework. The information and applications aspect is about providing optimal support for the services, the work that must be performed, and the desired approaches to organization in terms of data and information systems needed. What data and data processing is relevant for our business? What information systems will we use for that purpose? This is described in the third column of the framework. IT infrastructure and facilities refers to what is needed for the information systems to work according to specifications. You can think of software development platforms, application and data service, network infrastructure, data centers, and so on. On the one hand, IT infrastructure and facilities are important as investments. These can be quite expensive and thus need to be taken into account. More important, however, IT infrastructure and facilities can really enable application of new and innovative applications of information technology, but can also block changes, mostly because of choices made in the past. Cohesion between the different aspects of operational management works in both ways. Untapped potential or improvements in one aspect can enable improvements or innovations in preceding aspects. We usually describe this with the term enabling. This may involve unexploited potential already present in the organization. One example could be a complete CRM application that is currently only being used for relationship data management. But we must also examine the developments outside of the organization. Developments in the different supply markets for personnel, information, software, production technology, IT, etc. For instance, developments in the area of IT infrastructure enable all new models of software use, such as working in the cloud. But this may also involve new organizational concept, labor market developments, new production technology, innovative sourcing options, etc. Let's look at an example to show how the business transformation framework works from left to right, touching all different aspects of operational management. An organization in healthcare chooses to pursue a strategy that puts the customer in the center. This would lead to a further segmentation of customers and an integrated approach to serving the customer. For customers, there should be only one self-service portal instead of the 3 currently in use. We define these aspects in the most left column of our framework. However, this means changes in processes in organization. It is decided to form a front office department. Also, all employees should learn new skills in serving the customer beyond their own direct offering. They need to be able to cross and upsell. These changes also impact the application landscape. New CRM functionality needs to be deployed. A single customer portal needs to be created. We would define this in the information and applications column of the framework. The new portal requires a single sign-on functionality. This has impact on the IT infrastructure defined in the most right column of the framework. In summary, the business transformation framework is an approach for structured and planned change to translate strategy into execution, to define the required change while taking into account customers and services, processes and organization, culture, information and applications, and IT infrastructure and facilities. And last but not least, it captures all the relevant information that we need to shape the future of the organization and to support the change.
Okay, let me go into further detail. I'll give you 3 examples. At Rabobank, we did the merger of 2 private banking organizations. In summary, the current situation of both banks has been fully mapped using the business transformation framework. Then we determined where the overlap and omissions will occur after a merge of the both organizations, and design choices were made. On this basis, the transition roadmap has been prepared for the actual integration. Another kind of business transformation is, for example, the transformation from a product-centric to a customer-centric organization. This was the case at Aecon, a very large insurance company, where we used the business transformation framework to engineer and plan this large-scale transformation. For example, the scope of the strategic change program to create a complete new digital customer journey with use of CRM was derived from the business transformation framework. Finally, the largest car importer in the Netherlands, Spon Automotive, was faced with a new challenge. Porsche launched a completely new concept, the introduction of the Cayenne, later followed by the Panamera, you all know them. This meant a shift from fun cars to business cars. Repair times of traditional Porsches were long, the costs were high. The businessman is not interested in this. So it was necessary to completely streamline the service and repair processes of the dealers and garage. Porsche, Business Transformation Framework, has given the direction here. In the last 20 years, we supported our customers with more than 200 business transformation planning assignments. The approach and framework is scalable and supports organizations in all kinds of business segments.
So now we have seen that business transformation planning is an important capability for organizations to manage change. But this is just the beginning. It also means that an organization not only has to plan the business transformation, but it also has to execute the business transformation. In our experience, this means that additional capabilities are needed. These capabilities, we have positioned them in the business empowerment framework. First, an organization needs the capability of portfolio management. Portfolio management is about allocating resources to those initiatives that generate the biggest contribution to the strategic goals. An adequate mechanism for portfolio management ensures that the business transformation portfolio contains change activities in an optimal balance between business value and risk of failure. In this way, the organization is assured that its resources are spent wisely. When implementing portfolio management, it may lead to new governance structures, new processes, or even new roles. This was also the case at a mid-size insurance company in the Netherlands. During the process of business transformation planning, we noticed that change initiatives were not discussed and prioritized by stakeholders from business and IT departments. The law of decibel ruled, meaning that he who shouts the loudest is heard, and that there was a lack of mutual understanding between business and IT departments. In order to manage the business transformation plan, a portfolio board was installed, consisting of all senior managers of business and IT departments. Furthermore, a new process of portfolio management was implemented to make sure that new or changed initiatives got assessed properly. Finally, a portfolio manager was assigned to execute this process. Second, an organization needs the capability of architecture management. Architecture management is about designing business and IT solutions to guide and support the implementation of the business transformation. An adequate mechanism for architecture management ensures the alignment of the business strategy on the one hand and the business and IT solutions on the other hand. In this way, the organization makes sure that the implemented solutions fit the intended business transformation and work together seamlessly. Implementing architecture management may, again, lead to new governance structures, new processes, or new roles. This was what happened at a financial service company in the Netherlands. The architects operated in IT projects and were focusing mainly on solutions design. This meant that they were no trusted advisor of business management. Business management didn't understand what was happening in the projects, and there was no guarantee that business value would actually be realized. In order to make sure that the target situation and therefore the expected business value could be realized, the architecture capability was professionalized by hiring experienced architects and training the existing ones. Third, an organization needs the capability of project and business change management. Project and business change management aims at realizing the intended changes in products, services, processes, structures, applications, and, very important, behaviors. An adequate mechanism for project and business change management makes sure that deliverables are realized on schedule and within budget, and that intended benefits get achieved. In most organizations, there are already governance structures, processes, and rules in place for project and business change management. But, in our experience, an assessment of the performance and maturity may reveal necessary improvements. At an educational institution, for example, a project management approach was implemented, but it was not well understood by stakeholders in the business. There was a lack of professional business project managers, which caused the business to operate isolated and fragmented. Decision-making was slow and ineffective. In order to realize the business transformation, the capability of project and business change management needed serious improvement. So, to use the business transformation framework effectively, an organization needs the capabilities to steer and realize the business transformation portfolio. This means that capabilities are needed for portfolio management, architecture management, and project management and business change management. But you might say, is this planned and structured approach for managing business transformations also fit for modern organizations acting in a fast-changing world? The answer is yes and no. In earlier times, it was perfectly all right that we took 3 to 6 months to realize a business transformation plan. In modern organization, this is no longer okay. Change is happening too fast, but even more important, there are too many unknowns. The big upfront design is no more. Does this mean that business transformation planning is no longer needed? No, it does not. But it does mean that we have to do it differently. Business transformation planning in highly complex and volatile organizations requires an approach that is based on principles of agility. It is planned and agile. This means that the process of the business transformation planning is taking place using several iterations or sprints, delivering actual value to the organization, and that it is executed by an empowered team consisting of business and IT professionals. Let's think for a moment about using several iterations for business transformation planning. Does this mean that multiple business transformation plans are developed instead of one? And how are interdependencies between these plans managed? Well, the iterations are defined based upon specific strategic themes or issues. These themes descend from the business strategy, and every theme or issue should be relatively independent of other themes or issues. Furthermore, the business transformation needed for that specific theme or issue is engineered and planned during a predefined sprint interval of approximately 5 weeks. Every sprint delivers a business transformation plan and portfolio for that specific theme that can be used for execution right away. The business transformation plan resulting from every iteration of course need to be integrated into one enterprise business transformation plan and portfolio in order to create a complete business transformation portfolio for the organization. So, working in an agile way, the organization can start creating value after every sprint. Now let us look at the empowered team. What does this mean? Well, the team consists of professionals from business and IT departments who should be involved in making the business transformation happen for that specific theme. The team uses agile techniques like Kanban for managing their own backlog of team activities. Team members have the knowledge, the capabilities, and are empowered to make statements on behalf of their colleagues. The team uses demo sessions during every sprint to involve a broader part of the organization. And the team uses retrospective sessions at the end of every sprint to further improve its performance. In our experience, this really raises enthusiasm and team performance. All right, we have talked about developing a business transformation plan in an agile fashion. But how do we keep this business transformation plan aligned to changing conditions? After all, a business transformation plan that gets outdated is no longer a reliable compass for managing change. It gets forgotten and it gets ignored. So this means that it is very important that the business transformation plan gets updated continuously. This means that it should be easy to distribute to all involved, accessible for all involved, easy to submit feedback, easy to submit changes based on new insights or changing expectations, and finally easy to update without losing consistency. Suitable tooling is essential to achieve all this. Using adequate tooling supports continuous business transformation planning and implementation. The Maven Business Transformation Platform provides such tooling. This is a software solution based on Maven rules and powered by Microsoft technology. Together with Maven, we have worked on integration of the Maven Business Transformation Platform with architecture and portfolio management solutions to cover the whole range of the business empowerment framework. So we can call it a real change engine.
In summary, we have brought you the Business Transformation Framework. The Business Transformation Framework is a very powerful approach to engineer and plan the business transformation in order to get from strategy into execution. When using the Business Transformation Framework, organizations improve their effectiveness in managing business transformations because strategic objectives are clarified and translated into a set of guiding principles that can be used to provide direction to the business transformation. The target situation is designed to provide a common understanding of the required business transformation. A business transformation portfolio is crafted based on a clear understanding of the current and target situation. Finally, alignment between business and IT is assured. Organizations need to build the capability of business transformation. This means not only engineering and planning the business transformation, but also implementing it. To do so, additional capabilities for architecture management, portfolio management, and project and business change management are needed. Furthermore, in order to deal with the increasing pace of change and increasing uncertainty, the process of business transformation planning needs to be both planned and agile. Finally, to implement a continuous process of business transformation planning, the use of a powerful tool to support this is required. The Maven Business Transformation Platform provides such a tool. Thank you for your time and joining this webinar. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please find our contact details later in this webinar.